Okay, hello. This is my second attempt at recording this, um, which is why the time will be different on this one, um, uh, as to when I've submitted the form. I already have. Okay, so start off obviously with the basic information. I'll just cruise past that. I've answered yes for all of them just to make sure it's visible. Okay, so start off with version control. So it's my name, the repo link. Obviously this will be done later. I didn't manage to get the web page just to work, sadly, even though I did last time. It's a shame, but I just didn't have enough time. And it was really fiddly when I first did it, so I'd rather have just, got everything done so I could just submit it, so I'm not risking my marks getting capped, even though, to be frankly honest, I don't think I'll be hitting too high above the 40% threshold. 54 commits, so yes, of at least 20. My updated readme, so evidence that it's done. So this is actually correct as well. That's I just haven't managed to actually finish all of these. There's my time constraint, which is a shame, but it is what it is. So interfaces, we get on to some code. Canvas, it's the first one. So I have two of these. I have at Parser as well. You can see. I'll quickly gloss over. Wait, no, Canvas. What am I talking about? Yeah, just all the standard stuff from the first hand in, which is just initializing everything, pretty much. Kind of the bare bones stuff. But I suppose this is an interface, so I thought it'd be worth mentioning that I have, believe it or not, done that. Parser, I'll also quickly just show. I'll go over it in more detail further down. But yeah, implemented Parser. Using the command factory in the stored program that I've made. Yeah, just passes as you'd expect. I'm not really sure how much I should show for this, but for all classes. Yeah, I don't know why that's taken as now. Yeah, that's right. I think I'm pretty sure because they all use the canvas and the parser as well. So I think that's right. But I don't have my own interface. This is just existing things that I've replaced. It's not, I haven't created anything on my own, so I'll tick no for that. But if I am wrong in this, yeah, don't hesitate to take the marks. It's not plagiarism, I don't think. I don't know. It's a bit of a grey area for me, but yeah, I'm more than happy to just lose them if that's the case. Unit testing, I didn't get time. As you can see here, I've got the initial ones from the first hand in, which I guess I can just quickly show. But it's just the draw to, move to for the pen positions, the standard ones, and the multi-line pen position one. Although I don't think those will score me anything. But I'll show them for the sake of it. But no, did not manage to. I was going to, and I did. I should have really done it as I went, but yeah, I was really pushed for time on this. Unfortunately, it's just one of those things. So I've done no for all of these. Design patterns. So show my command factory because that's the first one. Yeah. So pretty much the same as my first hand in. I change it to using switch instead of just a bunch of ifs. But as you can see, everything that I'm using, I don't actually use cast. All of these I use, as you can see, and they're all relevant to the integer program which I managed to do. But I got very close with the if, I think, with the if, the else, and the and if, but I didn't quite manage to get it to work, unfortunately. I have the classes, which I'll quickly show towards the end. I'm not sure if it's necessary or it will score me absolutely anything, but I will just do it for the sake of it pretty quickly. But yeah, here's the command. It's pretty much the same as before, so goes through each case, command, and then it creates that. Pretty much. Singleton. So I have two, I guess. They're not very polished or anything, but I kept these two. The install, this was, it would probably be more useful in like the or just all the loops really, and maybe the arrays, but I didn't manage to finish them, so I've made it because I thought it would be a lot easier than it was, but fortunately I was wrong. But here it is anyway. Just the singleton store, so the instance dictionary and the base, and it's, yeah, just creates a new instance and returns the instance. Yeah, this probably isn't finished or polished. This is the same pretty much, because I did attempt to do the reels, but it just took way too long. And then I tried to go on to the ifs, and that also didn't work, so it's a bit frustrating. But I mean, this probably would have been useful, but is what it is. I mean, I've clicked yes for it, um, but again, if I mean, to my understanding, I suppose it's probably a yes, but um, yeah, don't hesitate to remove them if that's the case. I'm not trying to deceive you. So please just yeah, I'm just trying to be honest with that. But so I didn't manage to do any additional design pattern. I don't know why I just clicked yes for that. Yeah, I looked through them, but I just didn't have time. Again, it's gonna be quite a common theme, but nope. Implementation. So I'll show the about BOOSE really quickly. Here it is in the form one. So it just shows the version and the little sketch of the BOOSE icon. So it's just run every time the forms run pretty much. So every time debug commences, it will run in the debug window. So here is the evidence. There it is. Shows the 2.01 and all the information. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's all I have to cover for that. So, variables. So I did manage to get the ints replaced and working. So I will quickly run through this. So I guess I'll explain it before I show it. So yeah, app int. I've replaced the integer variable. So no value supplied. It'll just default to 0, as you can see. If it's null. And there again, it is pretty simple. That's just trimming it from white space around it. But this pretty much just a compilation of it. The execution, so the right hand side of the expression is evaluated, which will usually just be, I mean, in the program, it's just the value, isn't it, of the int on the right hand side of the equals. So yeah, it's evaluated and then used to update the target variable in the stored program that I make. But it'll first, as you can see, attempt to update it as a real, just to make sure it doesn't spit anything out immediately, but it will. Yeah, it only accepts integer values. So if it's not int, it cannot pass. Yep. And then it updates. So the parameters are checked in the compilation. So, yeah, it's with the null space, so it's literally just one number. No decimal point or nothing, just the whole number. So this is kind of useless, but I wasn't sure whether to just get rid of it or not, but it's there for now. And the code. I will show it running. I do have this in here. I don't know if you can. There it is, my unrestricted ints PNG, just to make sure. But I will run the code anyway. There you go. Same one. Standard. So I've clicked yes for that, understandably, and there is the link. The real class I got fairly close, but no cigar. So I had to get rid of it from my BOOSE app because I didn't want it to mess up anything. But to be fair, if I kept it there, it would have just been double slashed anyway. So, I mean, I kept the real store just in case it's enough for the singleton. But no, I just removed it, so nothing to see. No link obviously, and the array is the same. I just didn't, just too fiddly, and I didn't manage to finish it. I thought it would be smarter just to move on to the if because I thought it was more feasible. And plus, with the array, you need the real to work. I'm pretty sure. Or you need to be able to store them anyway, and it just wasn't sitting well. So no for that as well. And the ifs, it's a no. I don't know why that's a yes. I didn't manage to get it to work, but here is the double slashed code anyway. I'm not sure if this will score me anything, but I thought it was worth including, and you can see it on the GitHub as well. Yeah, I got quite close with it. At one point I was just stuck in an infinite loop with it, and I managed to get out of that, but it was still throwing the stored program exception, and I couldn't get my head around it within the time frame. So I probably could have got it finished if I had a bit more time, but yeah, another miss on the checklist. Didn't manage to. This is kind of where it stops. It's the if. That's the only thing I wrote as far as I got up to. So the while, the for, and the methods, and the else. I mean, I'll show the else as well because the else and the if kind of go a bit more hand in hand. But yeah, it's also there. It just operates the same as you'd expect. It's just if the initial if isn't true, it'll move on to this, it'll jump to this, and then you go through that, and then the end if is also here, which just terminates it. Doesn't really do anything, it just acts as like a breakpoint, marking the termination point of the if and the if else loop. But I won't bore you with it if it's not going to get me any marks. I imagine it's not, but you never know. Methods. Yeah, nothing there. So here, additional and substantial. I don't know how deep we're going to go into substantial, but I did implement my own parser and my own stored program. So here's the parser. I'll go through the parser first, I guess. Right. So it implements the BOOSE iParser, obviously, and then uses the command factory and the stored program. So its job is to just read it line by line, um, and convert it into commands using the command factory. Yeah, pretty much what you would expect the parser to do. Yeah, so this is just the creation of it, and it throws the null. So if there's nothing to parse, it will just not parse. But yeah, here in the parse command, it's parse a single line, so it does it line by line, converts it into a command. So got the same thing here. The empty, excuse me, sorry, the empty exception. Yeah, but here is the kind of parsing element, I guess. So it would be a lot more impressive if I had all of these working, but I don't. So, I mean, the if I got working, so this is a little more relevant than these, but it's just, yeah, it goes through, it will read it, identify the commands, and create the command. So, you can see it's here, compiles, adds it, adds the state, and returns the command. These are just all the ifs, and yeah. Parse program, it will just parse the entire BOOSE program. I'm not really sure if this is needed, but it's here. And it throws the exceptions with syntax error and null arguments again. So here it just strips it and splits all the lines. Well, no, I suppose it doesn't. It does the opposite, merges all of them. But so it can actually just read it in one go. And this is the for loop. It's going through it, trimming it, and it will attempt to parse it. And yeah, it will display exceptions if that's the case. And if the error length is greater than 1 or 0, well, I can't read, I don't know about that. It will throw the new exception. Here is where it got a bit messy with the ifs, so I don't know, I thought I'd keep it in, but, you know, understandable. It doesn't get me anything extra, but you never know. And the stored program, here it is. So, to help class, it uses these two libraries, which I had to research. I'm not sure if these are like the standard ways of doing it, but this is how I've done it, and it seems like it works. It's kind of hard to tell when you've only got the int program working, because that's a lot more basic than the others. I mean, all the programs are pretty basic, I guess, but they just won't run. So yeah, here's the so it locates and updates the program counter, and it's, you know, it would help control the flow of the if and the else if it were working, but it doesn't. So yeah, so BOOSE's program, the stored program, isn't public interface, so easier if I just make my own, I guess. Replace it. So the index is just the position of the command instance in the I list. Let's see. Set program counter. This is where it gets a bit fiddly, but it will attempt to update the program, the stored program counter, and then it will jump to a new command. I did play around with this in the if statements for a couple of days, but it just didn't really play nice, so it didn't get finished. But yeah. So it will go through all the kind of stages. So it'll search all the readable and writable integers and set one current value, and then if it's not found, it'll search all the integer fields and set one. If it's still not found, it'll fall back to a name-based thing. Name-based. Kind of search, and then if no suitable program counter can be found, the exception is thrown. Here, no suitable input number is found. So this is where the libraries come in. So the binding flags, I'm not entirely sure on them, but from what I found, it's going to be instance and then the public and the non-public. What's the word? Instances, I guess. So it'll go through each value in here. It basically just means so it can read the public and the private values. So you wouldn't be able to see the non-public members without the flags. And it just goes through. This is the kind of second failsafe, so it'll just look for the string comparisons and eventually comes to its conclusion. But I did manage to get it working somewhat along with the ifs, but yeah. Here it evaluates condition. So it's like the if style comparisons, Boolean. So trims it, and then it will throw an exception if nothing's there. And then here are all the operators. And then for each candidate in the list, pretty much, yeah, it just evaluates the integers using an if command, and it will return true or invalid, throw an exception. Here's where it just, you get the two different sides of it, 0 and 1 operators. Yeah. The eval int either passes the literal number directly, or BOOSE will evaluate it and it will be passed as an integer. Exception will be thrown if it's not able to be evaluated as an integer. So this is just relevant to the integer part, which the only one I got, the only variable I got sorted, but just takes the token, trims it, tries to parse it, evaluates it, and then throws the exception if it can't evaluate. That's pretty much it. So I've ticked yes for that. I'm not sure how many or if any marks I'll get for that, but I'll just walk you through it anyway. And these are the libraries used. So, wait, no, these are the libraries used. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. And everything else is just standard. Not really. Yes, I understand. And submission of the form. I'm not sure if I should still be showing this anyway, but there it is. So thank you for your time. And I don't know. Goodbye.